What's up, everyone? We are back. This is episode 6 of the Nashville Stampede Out of the Park Baseball 24 series. So we're here in the off season 2025 and kind of just going through some of the housekeeping and stuff. Um, Doing some scouting. We could start here. We did offer all of these guys arbitration, or we offered all these guys contracts through arbitration. Jalen Biggs is going to hit free agency. Oh, jeez. I don't know what just happened, but he wants a good contract, so we're going to pass on him for now. I could bring him back potentially, but Aaron Savali, I did offer an extension, 2 years, 30 million, 15 per, so could have him back. I think it's a pretty fair deal for a guy who just had an awesome season. Could get some Cy Young votes. Adrian Morejon will hit free agency, and Miguel Rojas will as well. Not opposed to bringing back Rojas, but would like to upgrade there as well. Also, if I misspeak or anything in this episode, I got in a pretty bad car crash. I'm recording this on Saturday, the 12th. I got in a car crash on the 10th. I have a concussion, so I haven't been able to do anything the last couple of days, but trying to get this episode recorded. I'm actually going to Nashville next Thursday for the weekend. So I want to get some episodes recorded before I go. And yeah, maybe I'll go see the Stampede play. Maybe they'll have a stadium by then. But anyway, some other off-season things. Grant McCray, who's coming off of like one of the best seasons I've seen out of like a rookie in this game. I offered him an extension. So, okay, did he decline it, or do I have to re-offer this or something? Oh man, yeah, I might be pausing the episode a couple times throughout this because it's kind of hard to look at the screen right now. But um, yeah, I thought I offered him an extension. Maybe it'll come up, but it was a 9-year deal, I believe, maybe 10 years. Let's see. I have not seen anything yet. So, but yeah, it was a 10-year deal. It buys out like, what is that, 5 years of free agency for him. We have a bunch of guys that I DFA'd, so I think I'll probably release. I think I'm just gonna release Suzuki. I don't really need him. Um, we're gonna spread out that deal. Yeah, fans aren't happy. Whatever, they can get over it. So Clemens, Salazar, all these guys were out of options, so that's the reason I'm releasing them now. So I'm gonna release Salazar and Clemens, and then I'll keep all of these guys in AAA, a chance to make the roster as well, but a bunch of guys out of options, and we didn't really need all that depth. So we do have a Gold Glove here as we go through awards. James Outman wins one in left field. I wouldn't be surprised if someone else did wind up winning one. Gold Glove. Here we go. So here's the AL. A little bit. I mean, obviously a little bit different. Like most of these guys are actually National League players, which is funny in real life. So we are an NL team. So we had Outman in left, and no one else won one. Not surprising in infield, but the outfield is pretty solid this season. So we got a trade proposal, Joey Bart, who I like, but I don't know if he's better than the guys that we have, for Giovanni Moran and Dura. Yeah, no, not Duran. Devin Williams wins reliever of the year in the AL. Gavin Hollowell, who has emerged into like one of the best pitchers in baseball in the save. Wish I could have had that luck in the Rockies save, but good for them. Cam Robinson comes in second. Eats up a lot of first place votes. I got 4 from Hollowell, who really should have run away with this award. I mean, he put a freaking 5.2 WAR in 65 innings. I can't believe Cam Robinson got any first place votes, quite frankly, but he was awesome in his own right. And Brian Abreu, also really good. Giovanni Moran finishes 4th, so really cool there. Looks like Jaime Melendez, who's one of the best prospects in the game, and Emmett Sheehan also gets some votes. We'll head to the Silver Sluggers, and Grant McCray wins one. So really cool there. Check out what happened here in the AL. Anthony Volpe wins one. That's cool. And then in the NL, Drew Romo. Like to see he's doing well in this save as well. Ezekiel Tovar, that's fun. But Grant McCray wins one and center field. Awesome season from him. And keep moving forward here. And Savali does sign our contract, so that's a 2-year, $15 million as a player option for the next season. After that, so pumped to have him for the next couple seasons. We have some money to spend, so it's not really a big concern. Oh, it looks like that sucks. McCray must have just used up his service time like by a day, so he wasn't eligible for Rookie of the Year. Cam Robinson does finish fourth though. Nick York wins. Wouldn't have stood a chance against McCray, but whatever. I mean, just an award. Who really cares? He might win MVP this season. So keep moving forward. Manager of the Year goes to Dave Roberts. I would have to disagree on that, but okay. Oh, also, I should mention Mike Scioscia did retire, so I had to hire a new coach. Carlos Rodon wins Cy Young. In the AL. NL, we had a bunch of guys splitting votes. So Marquez wins. What a stud this guy is, wow. Wow, that's an insane pitcher. Bobby Miller second, Shane McClanahan third, and Jaime Melendez finishes fourth. Savali finishes down the ballot, but still got a couple votes there. He finishes like 8th, I think, maybe 7th. Ellie De La Cruz wins MVP by 15 votes. Awesome season from him. Joey Gallo finishes second. Wow. That's wild. And then Matt McLean gets a couple of first place votes as well, so really cool. The Reds showing up here. And NL MVP, Kel Manzardo, for the Rays, he was mostly DHing, and he won MVP. 5.2 WAR. I mean, he had an awesome year. Grant McCray finishes second with 2 first place votes. His contract demand did go up. Okay, so I'm going to have to do that this offseason. But Mookie Betts finishes third. Got a couple first place votes as well. I doubt we have any other Stampede players down here. Oh, Aaron Savali got 1 vote for MVP. That's cool. So, I do want to extend McCray here. So, you know, he might decline in the future, but he's one of the OG guys on this team, and I want to reward him for such a great year. So, yeah, his demands went up, which sucks. Not surprising, though. So we're going to do 3 and then maybe 7. Actually, we could probably afford to go a little bit heavier these first couple of years. Let's go 5, 8, 16. And then we'll do 22. And then final year of arbitration, we'll do 28. Then, I mean, I'd be willing to go to 28 the rest of the way. We'll see if he likes this. I don't want to give him an opt-out after year 5, though. So I'll give him a team option for $32 million. I'm going to make this a 9-year deal. Oops. And then we'll give him a buyout of, I don't know, $5 million. He doesn't want any bonuses. So this will bring him through his age 33 season, if we accept that team option. Okay, so he likes it. This isn't too far off of what I had. I had him a little bit cheaper. It was 9 years. Maybe it was 10 years, 181. A little bit more expensive, but, I mean, he just went and finished second in MVP, so not too surprising. So I hope we can lock down McCray long-term here as we advance through the rest of the offseason. We'll add these guys to the roster. So everything's dealt with. Minor league free agents are extended. And Grant McCray, there we go. Signs our extension. I mean, it's a big deal and a big risk for a guy. Doesn't have a huge injury history, but has been hurt a couple times throughout the save. Nothing really serious. He had a sore back, forearm inflammation, bone chip in his elbow. So we'll see how that ages. It could hinder this rebuild big time, but I'm pumped to extend him. So arbitration hearings, we'll advance through that and hit free agents filings. We have a bunch of money to spend. and we'll see what we can do with it. So Picard looks like an interesting pitcher. Only $2 million. He's a borderline starter, but I think he could start. Jesus Vera. This guy looks like an interesting arm. Guy already signed. Interesting. Edgar Nieto, 25 years old, doesn't want a lot of money. Good defensive catcher, which I like. Luis Chamal. I don't like to sign too many of these guys. I say that every time. And I usually don't wind up abusing that system just to build up minor league depth. But, we are doing this. We're building this up from scratch. So I'm not totally opposed to, signing a guy like Chamal. So we go into free agency here. And I mean, what are our big needs? It's mostly in the lineup. Our pitching's pretty much set. These are the 6 guys that I think I want to use. Ben Brown will be back at some point, and I would like to implement him as well. I do want to request a scouting report. And these are, kind of the arms we have. Luis Peralta has options, which is why I kind of have him down here. Ben Brown will be back at some point. And then all 3 of these guys will probably make the team. I think Ashby's out of options. He's one option here, but he's making legit money. He's a good reliever, so I have him kind of in here with these other guys. So this is basically what our bullpen's going to look like. We'll have this extra spot kind of to play around if we need an extra arm or something. But these guys will be in here. We'll have these 5 guys most likely. Hackenberg could get pushed to the bullpen at some point. We'll see about that. But okay, let's jump into free agency. Ton of good pitchers, surprisingly. But I'm glad we got Savali on that cheap deal. I don't know if he'll follow up that great season, but his BABIP wasn't that high. And I think he could repeat at least as like a really quality number 3 starter next season, which, the going rate for that's about $15 million, so nothing too crazy. I think Nieto is a really good call here, actually. I'm gonna limit myself to signing one of these guys, so we'll give him $2 million if he makes the team, which I assume he will. So the big needs in this lineup, it's pretty much the entire infield minus third base. We'll have Urias back there this season. Outfield set, Outman, McRae, Matthias. And then, we have a bunch of players here. I don't know if any of them are locks. Actually, oh, shoot. Okay, so I forgot about this. I had a trade lined up with the Mariners. I hope it didn't go away. Oh, okay, I'm going to jump off camera and try to duplicate this trade that I had lined up, and we'll come back. All right, so I was able to replicate this trade to some extent. We actually wound up getting these guys for cheaper. So I was looking around for Mason Win trades, and he had quite a bit of value. Oh, didn't mean to do that. I can shop him around really quick and kind of show, the kind of guys that he was kind of demanding. So there's some interesting players in here. Cole Carrig, who just traded away. I'm just going through here again, make sure no one's really sticks out to me as an immediate upgrade over the guys we already have in this trade right now. I like Benny Montgomery, but so Adrian Palencia is actually a guy I was looking at, but he doesn't have the defensive versatility. Yeah, so we're gonna hop to this trade we have with the Mariners at the moment. Okay, so it's Mason Wynn, Drew Waters, who's out of options. We traded for him at the deadline. It wasn't really any good, and it was kind of like I didn't care too much about this trade. Like, Spencer Jones isn't really a great prospect, and we kind of got Waters for free in a way, and he didn't really perform. And he's a fine player, but we don't really need a backup corner outfielder at this point. And we're gonna go up with this guy, Darid Para. 25-year-old we signed as a minor league free agent a couple years ago, and then Brandon Sanchez, same deal. None of these guys really game-changing prospects. So in return, we're gonna get a couple pitchers, and one fielder. So Logan Henderson's kind of the guy that I like the most in this trade. Only 40 potential, but I kind of like this arm. Borderline starter, throws 94 to 96, had a good year in high A as a 23-year-old. And then Cade Snell, who is a similar pitcher that has control issues, only 23 though. And I like this arm. So those are kind of two high upside, or not a zero floor, but quality arms to have in the system. And then Chase Lee's a relief pitcher prospect, not the best, but he's a throw in. And then we also get Enrique Bradfield, who's a really good defensive outfielder, has a bunch of speed, and can hit a little bit. So instead of Waters, I kind of see this as flipping Waters for Bradfield, as more of a defensive speed fourth outfielder option over a good bat, but not really the outfield defense that we want. And then Mason Wynn, didn't really play well. I don't see this bat playing like as a starter at third base, a position that I kind of want more offense. And we got him for a half a season at Bellinger, which works out fine for me. I mean, that's a totally cool deal. So, and we also get $3 million cash in this one. So we're going to pull off this trade. And yeah, Mason Wynn just didn't really have a spot to play on this squad, how it's currently constructed. So we get some minor league depth. And we're going to assign these guys. So Henderson pitched in high A, so I'm going to assign him to double A. Could be in triple A, depending on how our roster stacks up. And Kate Snell, a guy that I would feel comfortable in high A at this point, probably even double A. Bradfield, he played in triple A. I think I'm cool with that as well. And Chase Lee, definitely cool with him in triple A. So there you go. That's how that trade will stack up, our first of the season. And we can hop back into addressing some of these team needs. So, I mean, Bo Naylor tentatively in at first base. He didn't really impress me too much last year, but I'll give him another shot. Catcher, we're fine for now. Second base, I mean, we have Amaya, we have Basabe, we have Castillo, we have Peraza. Do I really trust any of these guys? Not really, but they're all fine backups. Hernandez, Fernandez, Blanco, kind of minor league depth types. So, I mean, I would like to get a shortstop and maybe a big bat to play at DH. Those are kind of my ideal position. So let's check out the shortstop market. Tommy Edman, a guy that we can definitely look to bring in. He's 30 years old. Wants a 6-year deal. That's not going to happen. But, it's possible we can sign him to a short-term deal. Nick Ahmed is a nice player. The bat is really just not there. We're better off signing maybe a guy like Miguel Rojas again if we were going to go that route. Oswaldo Cabrera's here. He's more of kind of the same as we have. Bo Bichette, not really a shortstop anymore, but does have a good bat. Could play him at second. He's just a little expensive for my taste. Anyone down here that kind of catches my eye? I don't think so. Really quick, let's check the trade block. Orlando Arcia's out here. J.P. Crawford, Ahmed Rosario. Yeah, none of those guys really pique my interest. Maybe as we approach sort of like the winter meetings, there'll be more guys available here. But for now, we'll pass on that. Schwarber's a guy that would be pretty cool to bring in. He wants a massive contract, though. That's way too long term. Yandy Diaz would be a fun guy to bring in as well. He doesn't want a crazy contract. I mean, it's a 6-year deal, but we could probably get him down. Coming off a down year, but still a really good player. Would be a perfect fit in our lineup. For relatively cheap. Let's see. Let's go to all hitters. Brandon Lau could be a buy low candidate after coming off a rough year. Chimal, I'm not gonna go that route. Kind of for the reason that I mentioned before. Luis Arraez would be a cool DH option. Yeah, I mean, there's not too much here that I like. Danny Jansen could be a DH. Josh Naylor, he's cheap. Good bat. He's a lefty, though. I mean, we don't really have a preference. I prefer righty, I think, but if we slot Naylor down here, we put the other Naylor, which that sounds kind of fun. So, oh, never mind. He doesn't want to sign with us. Okay, so I should go over my new staff. So much of these guys didn't sign, but we called up Travis Phelps, who was our AAA manager. He has good ratings, so I called him up to be our major league manager. He's getting paid less than our bench coach, which feels weird, but whatever. Then I'll have to sign some of these guys or some new coaches down here, but we can do that in a little bit off camera. I wish Naylor would sign with us. That sucks. But anyway, yeah. So let's look at Edman. He wants a 6-year deal. I would do a 4-year. And even this doesn't feel right. Would you do 4 for 40? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I can go any more than that. How about Diaz? Diaz do like a 3-year deal. Maybe we throw him a little top heavy, 22 million first year, and then go down to 14, and then like 8 in his last year. This is a weird structure, but there's actually a good chance he would take that player option. That's fine. Okay, so what does that come out to? That's 36 and then 44. 3 years, 44. So basically, it's risky for a 34-year-old to sign him to that. We could always come back and amend that, but he'd be a really good first base DH type to throw into the order. He's an Iron Man, which is awesome. Means he probably will age decently well. His scouting hasn't regressed too much as he's gotten older. So yeah, we'll check on the Yandy thing. I would like to sign him, but yeah, Schwarber wants way too much. Okay, so we'll stop here, go off camera, go through some moves, and come back in just a second. All right, so I want to pivot in a little bit from the Yandy Diaz thing. So I decided to kind of take a Rays approach to this, where I kind of get guys who specialize in hitting against one side or the other. So I guess one guy that doesn't follow that is Ha-Seong Kim. I didn't realize his defense was so good in this game, so I'm going to try to sign him and play him at shortstop this season. His bat's pretty decent, so we'll give him a shot. But as for minor league deals or major league deals, I offered a 1-year, $4 million deal to Lourdes Gurriel Jr., and his platoon partner will be Jock Peterson if they both accept. This is a 2-year deal on paper. It's got a team option for $10 million the second year with a $2 million buyout. So it's either a 2-year $20 million deal or a 1-year $12 million deal. Either way, I'm cool with that. So to fill out the rest of our roster, we're kind of going the minor league deal route. So Gio Urshela, who's really good against lefties, not so good against righties. We offered him a minor league deal. On the contrary, Calvin Biggio, who's a bit better against righties, we offered him a minor league deal. Glaber's, fine against both, but better against lefties, so he's here. And from the left side, we have Livan Soto, who's a bit better against righties, but not really particularly good at both. So we're kind of going that route to fill out the rest of the roster. Sonny Gray, we also offered a 1-year, $6 million deal to fill out our rotation. Not that I don't like our rotation how it is, but, Banks might be better used in a bullpen role. Hackenberg, who knows what we're going to get from him in year 1. The top 3 are set, but, it's always good to have depth. So we'll see how that plays out here, and we'll come back in a little bit, check in on the moves, and we'll be back. So here at the Rule 5 draft, we'll draft till our pick. I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, never mind. Gleyber Torres did sign a minor league deal. I thought someone might have taken him there, but they did not. So just went through this really quick and kind of looked at who was available. And there were a couple guys that I liked. I like Gilbreth. He's pretty nice lefty arm that we could honestly kind of use in this bullpen. We have some good arms, but I wouldn't be opposed to having another lefty. It's either him or Marquez at this point. Marquez is a low leader, so is Gilbreth, so maybe it's neither of them. Maybe I don't even take anyone here. Davis Sharp is out for 5 months, so I don't even know if he'd reach the requirement to be able to send down next season. Let's see. Mercedes I almost traded for this offseason. Bryce Montes de Oca. I kind of like this arm. He doesn't really have a put-away pitch, though. That slider's okay, but nothing crazy. Yeah, I might wind up passing completely. I don't think any of these guys are, like, a great fit. I guess Marquez would be... Maybe I'll grab Marquez here. We have 40-man roster spots, and could use a bullpen arm. I don't think there were any hitters that I really liked. Jeremiah Jackson's actually interesting. Does he have any crazy splits? He hits pretty well against lefties. Not a bad infield defender. Could take JJ Bleday again. Oh my god, he wound up back with the A's again. That's wild. So Frelick. Okay, so you know what? I might audible here. Go to Jeremiah Jackson. 25, so he fits my kind of what I do for these picks. And has actually played in the majors the last couple of years. So we're going to pick up Jackson, see if he can make the team. And we'll sim the rest. So, oh, Adrian Valencia, look at that. He went with the first pick, 6th overall, but was a pick in that draft. So, as for moves that we've made so far, Jock Peterson did sign his contract, so he'll be my DH coming into the year. Gleyber Torres also signed his minor league deal. And that's pretty much it so far. We'll update with any other moves and come back. All right, so I guess second trade of the offseason, January 2nd now. Still looking for a shortstop of the future, and I think we have it here. So Dansby Swanson, who I traded for in my Rocky Sim also, I think it was a couple years after 2026. I'm not entirely sure, but we have him for another 4 seasons, so this year and then 3 more. You know, he's a little older. He's 31, almost 32. He will be by the time the season starts, but still a really good player. A little bit injury prone. Dealt with a few different things throughout the save. A knee sprain, fractured his knee, so could have some knee issues moving forward. But overall, I think this is a big upgrade from basically nothing or Ha-Sung Kim. And we're not giving up much, so they're eating 25% of the deal. They mostly just want to get out from underneath this deal. Wow, Jake Fox is a hell of a prospect. And then they're also throwing in $5 million to cover this year. And we're just giving him a couple different spare parts. So Jacob Amaya, who was pretty good in 2024 and then gave him a lot of playing time in 2025 and did nothing with it. So that wasn't great. And then Ivan Castillo, who's a decent depth piece, but, you know, he only has 1 option year left. And I just don't really have a spot for him on the squad. So, because we have Basabe, who I'd rather have on the team. So, yeah, Swanson will become our new shortstop. We're going to pull the trigger on this. So another contract kind of eating the money of a bad deal. Also, Gurriel did sign, so that will improve the hitting. So Swanson really plugs the last hole that we have in this lineup. You know, major hole. I guess second base is still a question mark. But Kim is down here, and we're probably going to have him on the opening day roster. I think he'll be my second baseman. Peraza is out of options, so he'll have to make my team, or we'll have to waive and DFA him. But I think he'll make the team. Basabe has a couple options, so we're good with him. And then, you know, Gurriel and Peterson will kind of split time. Gurriel will play at a couple different spots. He'll probably play a little first base, maybe a little outfield. Then we have like Blanco, who I'll probably keep up as my extra outfielder, and then Hernandez will be depth pieces, and then it'll probably be Basabe or Jackson, whoever wins out in this contest, for our backup infielder spot. So I think our lineup's actually pretty set. And the pitching staff, we signed Sonny Gray, so he'll slot in as probably our 3 or 4 starter. Or I guess 2 or 3 starter. It doesn't really matter, but that pushes Hackenberg to the bullpen as of now. I mean, we'll see how this all plays out, but made a bunch of minor league free agent signings. Nieto did wind up signing, so he'll probably be my starting catcher, I would guess, but he has to make the team first. we made some depth signings. We do have like Labor Torres down here, who a lot of teams were interested in. I thought it was a little cheesy to sign a guy to a minor league deal and then trade him, so I didn't wind up doing that. But I think this team looks pretty good moving forward. We'll stop and check in if any other major things happen. But yeah, really happy with how this lineup looks. Definitely an improvement over last year and the rotation as well. So we'll keep moving forward here. All right, so a quick update: international free agency. I seem to have fixed the problem, so it did start on February 1st. I really wanted this guy, Julio Lugo. I love this pitch mix, and he was pretty well developed for a 16-year-old. And unfortunately, the Royals just had more money than me, so I wasn't able to pick him up. But we got a really good outfielder, Juan Roybal, who was higher rated potential wise. But I already have a couple of these like developmental, like not even scratching the surface of their potential type guys, and I don't really like to have a bunch of them. Um, we rolled the dice with that a couple of years ago with David Ramirez, and yeah, he's put up like not even close to a reasonable season in rookie ball. Hasn't developed at all. He's 19 years old. So at this point, I'm kind of giving up on him. So yeah, I don't really like going after those guys. So I thought that pitcher would be a really good replacement. Um, Cisneros, on the other hand, did have a nice little boost in his last development. He'll be in rookie ball next year. But yeah, Ramirez just hasn't worked out, and we kind of got like an outfielder of that same in that same conversation this year as well. They didn't love it, but it was the best guy available for us to get. So yeah, I'm gonna keep moving forward. We'll be back. All right, folks. So we are here at opening day. Check out how the roster shakes up. No huge surprises. I guess we signed Jordan Montgomery late in the offseason. I guess not too late. It was in January, but I forgot to mention it last time. So he'll be our 5 starter. And then the bullpen: Robinson, Cano, Moran. Banks will start there. Could move in the rotation. Who knows? And then Leaper, Henriquez, Arias, and Ashby. The rotation goes Savali, Hauk, Gray, Wisniewski, Montgomery. And for the hitters, a couple surprises. So I got to add these guys to my 40-man. Kevin Biggio was the guy who wound up making it as like a non-roster invite. Had an awesome spring. Could play a bunch of different positions, so I liked him in a utility role. Nieto didn't have a very good spring at all, but his defense is good enough. I'm going to give him a role at catcher to start the year. Ali Sanchez will back him up. Hedges was DFA'd. I'm going to see if I can move him to AAA. That'd be awesome, and I can, so that's good. And then Naylor had a really good spring, so he'll start at first. And then Jackson makes the team as a Rule 5 pick. Had like an amazing spring. Gonna give him a role out there, playing quite a bit. Every fourth at second. Peraza will start there. Had a good spring as well. And then you got Urias, Swanson, and on the left side of the infield. Outfield: Outman, Peterson, or I guess Outman, McRae, Matthias. Peterson will DH. Gurriel will DH against lefties. So they'll have a true platoon over there. Gurriel, I'm trying to get a little time at first base against righties, just because he's the weak side of the platoon. Biggio mixed in a couple different spots until we figure out who the guys are that we want to run with. Second base is a real, timeshare at this point. See who kind of runs away with the job. Peraza gets the inside track just because of his defense, but Jackson or Biggio could take it. And yeah, that's about it. I guess we can go into preseason predictions. Here's the AL. Mets win the East. Twins in the Central. See the top hitters here. No huge surprises. Paul Skeens looks like he's turned into a pretty good pitcher. A lot of familiar faces. Tristan Casas apparently is at third base now for the Sox. That's cool. Kobe Mayo is apparently a top hitter. Okay, well that's wild. In the NL, we have your Stampede finishing third at 86 and 76. My owner just wants me to make the playoffs, so if that gets us in, which it looks like it would, I'll be happy with that. Looks like we're supposed to lead the NL in ERA, which is Surprising, last in batting average, at least of like actual good teams. Padres and Giants behind us in that one. A lot of interesting faces here for top hitters. You got Sterling Thompson for the Rockies, Jason Dominguez for Arizona now. I guess Acuna, Lux are guys that you and like Alvarez and Olsen, but I mean Carter Jensen for Kansas City looks like a stud. None of our guys for hitters. As for pitchers, none of our guys either. So we'll see how the season goes. I guess we finished 86 and 76 in this particular sim. Go through our minor league system. Raynel Duran takes over as our top prospect, number 12 in baseball. We signed him as a minor league free agent, and we got a little bit of luck here. So hopefully we can keep his development going. His control was a big issue last year. He'll start in high A. Could move up quickly if that control and movement bump up a bit. The OSA loves him. So hopefully we get that pitcher. Cisneros moves up a spot to number 16. He'll get his first season of professional ball this year. Juan Roybal, who was our international signing this year, he slots in at number 33. Mike Molinax, who was our first-round pick in 2024, wound up having a pretty good year in A-ball, turned it on late, and actually came up. I had him in spring training and got 3 hits, so that's cool. He'll start the year in high A. Could move up quickly as well. Hackenberg did not make the roster, just because we had a bunch of arms, but looks like he already pitched a game, actually, before we even had our first in the majors. Yeah, he's number 92 in baseball. Moved down a little bit, but still have hope for him in the future. Kyle Hoog, who was an 11th round pick. This was kind of the guy that we drafted, too. Like, it's not like we got any crazy development, but he had an awesome year in high A. Logan Henderson, the guy we got in trade, he looks like he got a little boost up. David Ramirez drops way down. Just no development. Still like 20 in a bunch of these categories at age 19. We'll see. Not too hopeful for him. Boston Kellner was a 2nd round pick last year. He's pretty far down the list. And yeah, that's about it. Cade Snell, who we got in trade. He was higher up at the beginning of the offseason. Looks like he dropped off a bit as well. So let's go into this opening series against Atlanta. We'll start in Nashville. Let's do it. Savali on the bump, and we lose 4-3. Peterson drove in a pair. Looks like he had a 2-run home run. Savali, decent start, not the best, but Arias and Moran do a good job out of the pen. Just could not get to Strider and company enough. Game 2, Tanner Houck on the mound. And we win 12-4, so nice day for the offense. Outman, 6 RBIs. Love to see that. McCray, 3 hits. Swanson, Gurriel, also a pair of hits each. Nieto has 3 hits in this one after walking twice in the first game, so he's off to a good start. Houck, a nice start, and then Henriquez, not great, but the rest of the bullpen does a good job. Game 3 in the series. Sonny Gray on the mound. And a little simming, and we win 5-1. So win the series against Atlanta. Matias, 3 hits, 2 ribbies. Bo Naylor, 2 hits, 2 ribbies. Sonny Gray, a really nice start. And Banks and Cano will finish it out. So that'll wrap up the episode. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully I'm feeling better next time I record. But yeah, we'll see you next time. Goodbye.